is coming forward. And they're off, and Brofisdal slow to gather stride, has to be pushed along in the early stages, but is taking part for this Enjoy the Cheltenham Festival with MansionBet Mares Handicap Hurdle. Starting over on the far side, heading towards the first of their 10 flights. Fair and Dandy leads Agent Valdez towards the first, with Tara Well, the pink cap, close up. Then Drumrea in orange and green, green and yellow. That is Madame Melina. Next is Midnight Reflections in the pink and white quarters with a noseband from on the inside Pillar of Steel. They cross the first flight of hurdles. They all cross it safely amongst the back markers in the early stages. Kentford Mallard and Brofisdal. Also back of the envelope is towards the back with Mrs. Gray. And a little worse than midfield at this stage is Candy Lou and Conjuring Trick. They're heading on towards number 2, just a fairly short run towards it. Fair and Dandy led over, just over a length clear. About 12 lengths between first and last. The last to cross it was back of the envelope. Agent Valdez on the heels of the leader. Fair and Dandy as they continue towards the end of the back straight first time round. Brofisdal's now in a prominent position, dark blue with the light blue sleeves. Pillar of Steel is there towards the near side in the predominantly black colours. Madame Melina's in the green and yellow, 4 deep in that chasing quartet, along with Midnight Reflection, the top weight. Drumrea in the first time cheek piece is next in orange and green. Tara Wells making ground on the wide outside in blue with a pink cap. Another with cheek pieces as they head towards the flight at the bottom end of the course, and this is the 3rd in total. And Fair and Dandy crossed it safely. Conjuring Tricks dropped back to last, shares that position with Kentford Mallard, the brown, white and orange. Conjuring Trick in the royal colours. Back of the envelope has now passed those two in largely yellow colours. Swinging into the straight and on towards the next 2 flights as they head towards the stands, numbers 4 and 5, and Fair and Dandy toes them along. And then this chasing group of 5 as they swing into the straight. Agent Valdez is nearest the inside rail, one off the fence is Midnight Reflection, and then 3 deep is Madame Melina. Wider still the nose-banded Drumrea, and then towards the stand side is Tara Well, who's taken quite a keen hold. Very wide on the course held up is Mrs. Gray. The second of the greys, the darker of the greys. The other grey is the leader as they cross that flight, Fair and Dandy. All still standing as they make their way on towards the flights in front of the stands. Fair and Dandy leads from on the left, Agent Valdez, who's followed closely by Pillar of Steel and Midnight Reflection, and then Madame Melina. Drumrea towards the near side. Mrs. Gray improving her position now, in a prominent position towards the near side in that chasing group, followed by Tara Well. Brofisdal settled away midfield, and then half a length to Candy Lou, and Kaimata in blue with a whiter sleeve. Towards the back of the envelopes being pushed along, and gets a reminder as they pass the stands. Kentford Mallard still weighted with, and Conjuring Trick right at the back of the field as they swing away now towards the far side. And Fair and Dandy has made most so far under Tom O'Brien. Has company on the inside with Agent Valdez, who's hugging that inside rail, and they're 1 and 2 as they swing away down the back from Midnight Reflection, and Madame Melina still in a prominent position in 4th place. Not too far away, Mrs. Gray on their outer from Pillar of Steel, who's there against the rail. 1 off the rail is Brofisdal, half a length then to Candy Lou, and 3 parts to Tara Well. Next in the field and ridden along is Kaimata, and then Kentford Mallard as they shape up to go down the far side. Conjuring Tricks struggling at the back of the field, and another one who's a few lengths behind the main group is back of the envelope. But they're well grouped behind the leader, Fair and Dandy, Agent Valdez, Midnight Reflection, and Mrs. Gray from Madame Melina, and then Brofisdal. That's the leading group from Candy Lou and Pillar of Steel. Drumrea's pushed along as lost ground. Tara Well mid-division. Kentford Mallard trying to pick up a little from the back of the field. Kaimata's off the bridle, and then the 2 detached at the back. That's back of the envelope and Conjuring Trick. Going towards the last flight proper on the far side, and it's still Fair and Dandy is set out to make all. Agent Valdez crossed it in 2nd place. Drumrea made a bad mistake when struggling at the back of the field. First 2 are being followed by Brofisdal and Midnight Reflection and Mrs. Gray, and close up behind them is Candy Lou, and then follows Kentford Mallard, who's made good progress, the orange cap, and is now tracking the leading group. 2 lengths to Madame Melina, she's lost her place. Tara Well is next. Last of that main group is Kaimata, and then a long gap back to Pillar of Steel and back of the envelope and Conjuring Trick and Drumrea. Leaving the back straight, they've got 3 more flights of hurdles to take, and Fair and Dandy giving a bold side out in front will take the turn first from Agent Valdez, who's always been tracking the leader. Mrs. Gray's in contention with wide of that group at Tara Well, and just in behind the leaders, behind Midnight Reflection, races Candy Lou and the still improving Kentford Mallard, although she's pushed along. Brofisdal, another who's being niggled along, but is within striking distance. The light blue sleeves as Fair and Dandy and Agent Valdez. They've been 1 and 2 throughout, lead the field into the straight, but Midnight Reflection looks a potent threat on the near side and finding a gap through to join the leaders. Between that leading pair is Brophy's Doll. Kenford Mallard's back in 5th place, and then trying to stay on behind them is Candy Lou as they head for home, and Fair and Dandy's given way. Midnight Reflections come there very strongly towards the near side to tackle Agent Valdez, and between the pair is Brophy's Doll. Over the second last flight is Agent Valdez, but still to move a muscle aboard Midnight Reflection is Jack Tudor the near side. There's 2 or 3 lengths then to Brophy's Doll, Kenford Mallard, and then comes Candy Lou. At the final flight will be Midnight Reflection just from Agent Valdez the far side as they race into the closing stages. The shake of the rein sees Midnight Reflection out in front and now beginning to draw clear under a very confident ride. The Midnight Reflection's one with plenty in hand, beats Agent Valdez. Candy Lou